perfect.
Okay, Danae and I are testing, taste testing an apple. This is a Lodi. It's an early apple. And let's try cutting it up. Danae, can you hold the camera? Can you hold the camera? Okay, you point it here at the apple. Okay? You're pointing at the apple? And hold really still. Right here, point it at the apple. Got it? Okay, here we go. It's almost translucent.
Wow.
Okay, she doesn't want the camera anymore. She's got the apple. Okay, taste it. Is it good? Okay, I'm going to try a piece.
Pink.
It's soft. It's not a real sweet apple. It's kind of like a soft flesh that's breaking. Danae likes it. Go ahead and eat it. Pretty thin skin. It's got kind of a green apple taste to it, though. You know, like an unripe apple taste to it. So it's not real sweet. Fair to Midland, I'd say. I like late apples a lot better. But it's a really pretty apple. It's almost pale, like a yellow transparent. And it gets just a slight pink blush on it where the sun hits it full. Yep, that's the Lodi apple. Here's the Honeycrisp outside the kitchen window. They're really turning red. Nice and red. We've had some cool nights. So these are going to be good this year. Look at that. Beautiful. The trees that were heavy with fruit last year are lighter with fruit this year. So like the Shizuka. Of course, this one had a lot of rabbit damage on the bottom. The rabbits were climbing up on these lower limbs and chewing off all the fruit spurs. But I'll have maybe a quarter bushel off this tree this year. The Macoun seems to have put out, well, it's usually so profuse with blossoms that it's always going to have some coming out. What it's doing. It's got a real deep bloom on it. But if you rub that off, it becomes very shiny. Almost a purplish red. They're a beautiful apple. Gourmet apple, I always call them. The Jonagold down here. It's a very dwarfing tree, but it's got quite a bit of red on it this year for a Jonagold. And they've got some grapes. Looks like they're ripe. Really not too many to pick. That's good. Seeded Concords. The Cortland is bending down under the strain now. Good thing I have some limbs propped up. Or the rabbits that have them all nipped off. My Snow Sweet has got two good sized apples. Those are, my thumb's an inch wide, so 2.5, 3 inches. Just planted this year. but I let it have some fruit. I probably should prop that up so it doesn't break off. Liberty, although I thought it was a small set this year, looks pretty loaded. Not real big this year. Seems like the apples are. Oh, good. It's still smiling, my happy apple. The apples are kind of small this year. Smaller. Of course, this one's probably fairly loaded too. I seem to get a lot of insect damage even though I do spray. I get quite a bit of damage, and with birds. So if I prune for very large apples, I will tend to lose very large apples. And trees that don't really grow really large apples to begin with, like Liberty, I usually just let them have a few more on it. So that tree's coming good. The new orchard. The new orchard is going to be down here below the hill. I have a guy cutting trees for me for the firewood, and blueberries. It's pretty low ground down there, so blueberries, maybe some blackberries, apple trees toward this end and toward the road where it's a little higher, all the way back to behind the greenhouse down there. So that's about, well, it's a good half acre. And when that's done, then they're going to start taking trees out north of the house to the north orchard. So my 2 acres will be pretty much lumbered off. And then I'll have maybe enough room for apple trees. It is, what is it, September 10th or 11th, and it's kind of hot and muggy. Not really hot, it's cooling off. It was hot earlier today, and we're having thunderstorms tomorrow. And I can hear the oak trees dropping acorns. Loads of acorns this year up in the big oak. This twin oak tree in my front yard, I fight with the shade of it, but it's it's a twin oak because it's got 2 trunks, and they're each of them 24 inches in diameter, so kind of a pain to try and cut them down near the house since one of them is sort of leaning toward the house. So I'm just leaving this big oak. But this oak here, which is about 14 or 15 inches in diameter, and the one down by the orchard, they're going. Otherwise, the lower orchard is shaded from about 3 o'clock on. So let's go down to the lower orchard. Well, the sun has set, so the color won't be so great in this video, but behind me here we have first crop for Honeycrisp. Well, I guess we had some last year here in this tree too, but it was kind of spotty and the birds got most of them. But they're coloring up good. And nothing on the Shizuka tree back there. This Honeycrisp tree is going to have some serious surgery done to it. After I pick the apples, I'm going to take this side limb off. There's a few apples on there. The tall, wealthy tree here, and it's dropping apples. I'm going to pick up some of them. Really red this year. Well, here's where I can reach. Got some frost damage on it, but I like wealthy apples. They have a nice taste to them. A little tart, a little sweet. How's the blueberries coming today? Lots of blueberries. You can grab with your whole hand like this, See this? Grab your whole hand and just roll them off.
Wow.
Just like that. Don't pick only blue ones. No red ones or green ones, okay? Do they taste good? Try one. Try one. I'm going to try one.
Ooh. Cute.
These are Elliott blueberries.
Good catch.
Those are good. I'm going to help Danae pick in a minute here. No spy gold this year. It's an off year. A lighter crop on the golden russet. Birds really don't like these. They get really sweet, but they're a firm apple until they're ripe. After the first frost, heavy frost, you can pick these. The Scarlet Surprise, I hit it with a lawnmower early this summer, so it's given me only small apples this year. And for those of you who haven't seen what a Scarlet Surprise is, usually they can get twice this big. Last year they were twice this big. This is why it's called a Scarlet Surprise. Surprise! Red fleshed. Yeah. Woo! A little bit tart.